Hello, everybody. I'm the okayest bassist, and this is a re-review. This is my second Ibanez 505E. Full model is SR505E. Then there's a P1-04. There's all sorts of letters up there. It's an Ibanez. I had one of these before. There's another review on the channel. You're welcome to go look at it. I ended up giving this a rating based on what I had. That rating was, I don't remember. Its biggest docking factor was this awful jack placement. It's on the front of the instrument, which I love. My Lignum that I designed, the jack is on the front. But it's on the front. It's on the surface, on the front. And it comes straight out from the body so that I can plug in a cable. I could plug in a 90 and it'll go straight away. Or what I do, I can plug in a wireless system and it's right there. I can see it on the front. That's why I like the jack on the front. This one's is on the front in the same way that a manual vehicle can be driven without the clutch. It's kind of a lie. This isn't on the front. It is on the downward angular face. Like, that is the angle we're talking. It's away from the front. It's also not straight with the body in any way. It's at an angle. And then it doesn't go straight in. It also goes out at an angle. Like, everything that could be a 90-degree angle that would make that make sense, it's not. It's none of that. And the wireless system I was using, which was a Positive Grid Spark Link, due to its design, could not plug in. And that was the wireless system I was using at the time because I had it. And that sucked. So I couldn't plug it in. I tried getting just an 1/8-inch jack extension. The best I could find was like a 6-inch cable. So it had the jack, 6 inches worth of cable, the receiving jack. So then it would be just swinging around. I could have looped it over the strap on the inside. Okay, no. I shouldn't have to buy an accessory to make a thing work. However, the wireless systems that I use now, which are the WS70 Plus by Swift Audio, or you could use the Lakato WS-70, either of those, due to their design, can plug in here. The one I had before, I swear, was more recessed than this one. I would swear that it was at least 1/4 or 1/2 inch deeper inside the cavity. But hey, whatever. I have this one now. It also has the paint that, depending on the angle, looks between purple and green. I don't know if the camera is picking that up, but I love it. I also like the neck. I think this neck is prettier than the one I had before. I don't remember what the woods are. They're here somewhere. I'll put them up. But they're dark and they look nice. It has your standard closed gear tuners. They don't say Ibanez on them. And then it has Ibanez bridge, and I really like this bridge. It has it where it's open on the top, and you can slot your string in through the top. That is super nice, just for when you change a string, or if you need to remove a string for a time and put it back. You don't have to pull it all the way through the bridge or all the way through the body. It also has the super nice saddle sets that Ibanez do on some of their models, where it has the height adjust, and it also has string width adjust. So I believe you can add up to like 1 millimeter of total string width each way, not like 1 millimeter between each. I haven't had to touch it. It's been super nice. I threw on these cool strings, so that, like my buddy Bully, I too can have a Joker color scheme inspired base. Mine's greens and purples in the color paint anyway, and then it has the green with the green striped strings. They're pretty cool. They are made by Labella, so these are a special edition Labella tape wound. They are not my Diodarios I normally play, but they still play nice. They feel different in the way that you can have something that's smooth and feels like metal or glass versus having something that's smooth and feels like cloth. These ones are more in that like metal or glassy smoothness as opposed to the Diodarios that are more like cloth to me. But they're still nice. I do like it. It took a little bit of a setup when I got it. This one came from Sweetwater, so shout out to my buddy Tim at Sweetwater. There was one part by the neck pocket where it has like a small bubble in the finish. And then the truss rod, I ended up having to do about a half rotation, so 180 degrees of rotation for the truss rod, because it was buzzing on basically everything up through about the 15th fret, so it was touching the other frets when those notes were fretted. Outside of that, everything's been great. I already got a hold of Tim. He's helping me to take care of that problem. All in all, the bass is great. So let's get into the scales and the rating. Playability, thing gets a 5 out of 5. It isn't multi-scale, which is of course the thing I like, but it's still very playable. The pickup placement is so nice because it's right where I want to put my finger when I'm playing, so I can rest it right there. The neck feels great. It's a typical, I mean, I've never had an Ibanez that I didn't think the neck was comfortable, so maybe that says something about me. I don't know. But playability on it's great. It doesn't feel it's a 34-inch scale, so it's what you expect. It doesn't feel super long. I mean, it's got neck dive. It definitely does. Almost every bass has neck dive. But it's not that I feel like I'm fighting it. The body is rounded everywhere, so it's not like there's a sharp or flattened surface somewhere that messes with how you play or your comfort. If anything, it might be too round and slick because it doesn't seem to like to stay on my leg, but as long as I'm bracing it with my forearm, everything just feels comfy. 5 out of 5 on playability. Parts, give it a 4. I love this bridge. I really do. I love that it slots from the top. It has a screw to adjust your intonation, so you don't have to detune your strings. It has the 2 screws for height adjustment, so you're great there. And then it has the screw that you can adjust, so you can remove that screw, and then you manually move the string side to side. I don't know of, I've never recall anyway of seeing a system that you can use a screwdriver to actually adjust it with the string on it. So removing that screw and pushing the string to the width that you want, I'm not as upset about that as I am for intonation, because intonation is something you have to keep checking. Whereas if you're adjusting your string width, you're literally going to be looking at it and moving your string width to the width that you want, and then you're pretty good. You might have a measure that you, like a measuring tape or something you want to use, but again, at that point, you're setting your outside strings, setting your secondary strings, and then your center strings probably going to stay where it is or have a minor adjustment, but you're measuring those. It's not something of the bass has to tell you where your intonation is. So might not make sense to anybody except me, but it makes sense to me, so that's all that matters. It's my review. So parts, 4 out of 5. Practicality, I'm going to give it a 5 out of 5. It is a 34-inch scale bass. It's a 5-string. I mean, there isn't anything about this bass. I mean, the color scheme, if you show up to certain places, they might be like, that's weird. Why do you have that? Do you have something that looks normal? Basically, they mean, a P bass. But it's great. It's very playable. It looks good. It plays well. And it has a passive switch. So I don't know what else you'd want out of it. 5 out of 5 for practicality. Purchasability, 5 out of 5. You can buy these all the time. You can go and get them. You can get them used. You can get them new. Keep an eye out. Musician's Friend every now and then puts them on sale, or Guitar Center puts them on sale. I think they're normally in the $700-800 range, and I've seen them go on sale for like $620. So that's the definite time to buy them. They are well worth it at that price. I said it in the review before at the end of the year. $700-800 range seems a little steep for it. It does have the really cool paint, has the nice neck. I'm not gonna say that at $700-800 it's not worth it, but if you see it in the 600-ish price range, 620s, it's definitely worth it at that price in my opinion. So that brings our total score to, wow, I think it was 5, 5, 5, and a 4 for parts. So 19 out of 20. Almost perfect. The parts, I gave it low score before because of this jack. I do still hate the jack, but the bridge being extra good helps make up for the jack. So I'll give it a 4. I don't do half scores just because then I'd have to overanalyze everything. It's very close to being a 3 because of the jack being stupid. But again, this one isn't near as recessed as the one I had before. Like, I wish I had pictures of how recessed the other one was, and that's made a huge difference. The Spark Link by Positive Grid still can't plug into this, but it at least had a chance. It didn't work, but it had a chance, whereas the other one, it wasn't even close. So maybe I just had one that had the stupidest of the stupid place jacks. I don't know. But as it goes, this one's better. So total on the parts is 4, giving it a 19 out of 20. If this jack faced out the front, just like was in the same spot and just was front facing, this thing would be a 20 out of 20 bass. It would have, you could upgrade to hip shot ultralights. You could put fancy tuners. You could change out the pickups. You could do, I don't care about any of that. If it had hip shot ultralights, that'd be cool, but they're not necessary. If that jack was fixed, though, this thing would be a perfect bass. It'd be a 20 out of 20, and I would say $800 would be a steal, but I hate the jack, so it still gets a 4. As always, thanks for stopping by. Thanks for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day. Consistency. Lighting consistency is important.